So let's go to the astrology chart and get it out of the way. And I hope Debbie and Victoria will hang online for us. This is a very jam-packed show until 8 o'clock anyway. Then we go to the uncut version. It's as quiet as anything.
Quiet as old Harry.
It's as quiet as anything.
Let's see. Okay, I get this astrology.
This is for Maritza Blasquet, and she lives in Canada. And I know Maritza. She's been online a few times, I'm sure. And so I didn't write to her today and tell her that we would be reading her chart. I'm very naughty.
Well,
and I do apologize.
She can do it in the archive.
She'll hear it in the archive.
So she's got Virgo on her ascendant.
Yes, she has.
Okay.
I can't see it. Where is it? Have you got it up on the...
Zana hasn't put it up yet.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
Okay.
We're tape delayed.
Yeah, because we're delayed in time, aren't we?
Okay,
there we are.
So she's got Virgo on the ascendant. So what's that?
Well, that means that she's very critical of herself.
Right.
And she's very critical of everything that she does. She'd be a perfectionist.
Very perfectionist.
And I know that she works in the food industry. I think she's a chef. And so, everything that she does, she has to do perfectly. There's something from a past life connected to that as well, where she didn't do things as perfectly in the past as she could have done. And she, is now in this lifetime, I'm talking about a lady called Maritza, who's in Canada. Somebody's just asked that question. Right. So, there is a past lifetime there as to why she's so hard on herself and why she's such a perfectionist within herself.
And then in her first house, which is all about the self and the ego and self-confidence, insecurity, she's got Pluto in Virgo and she's got Uranus in Virgo.
Now, Pluto is all about transformation. Right. So she's here to not only transform that perfectionism energy, but she's also here to transform herself. And also, not maybe, but also to change that old energy.
Learn how to love herself as she is. Right?
Maritza, I used to be a perfectionist. I was just like you, if you're still that way. And my husband came into my life with his mess and his dropping everything everywhere and leaving mail on the table for 3 weeks. To teach me that, it didn't matter.
Had to teach her the philosophy of why do today what you can put off till tomorrow. I wouldn't have a cup of
tea without washing the dishes before I had a cup of tea. So I was such a perfectionist.
Right.
I'm not anymore. I sat the other night with all this stuff all around me and thought, my God.
There you go. Which is hard for a Virgo to do.
Yeah, it is for her because she is a Virgo.
And then what about that Uranus?
Uranus in the first house is all about, her energy. She's got a lot of energy. She's got a lot of what you would term electric energy.
Right.
And, some people that have this in the first house actually have, what do you call
ADD or something?
No. It begins with an E.
Oh, epilepsy?
Epilepsy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sudden and unexpected.
Yeah, and it just comes out of the blue, nowhere. It just hits you. Wow. It's just too much energy.
Right.
So, she's got a tremendous amount of energy. But again, she doesn't use it in the best ability she should because she's using that Virgo energy.
Right.
And the Virgo energy says, no, can't do that, not perfect. Right. So, she needs to really do some work on that. Exactly. In her second house, she has Mars. Now, Mars is retrograde.
Right.
A retrograde planet means that she's here to do it again.
Right. And the second house is all about the material things and finances and things like
Assets,
that.
Security.
Assets. So she's got Mars there in the planet of Scorpio.
And she's not used that energy before. I have Mars in Scorpio in that house. And it's basically about using the energy to make money.
Right.
Right. And to become a wealthy woman, actually, to be perfectly honest.
Mars is the most energetic of planets, and it's there in the sign of Scorpio, which means a little bit about secrecy, too.
Yeah, oh, very much so. But she's got to use that energy to make money.
Exactly.
In the third house, she has her South Node, and she has Neptune, and she has her Moon. Now, in that third house, that's where it's the house of communications. And it's the house of brothers and sisters.
Right.
And I'm looking at communication with this, and I'm looking at writing. Mm-hmm. She needs to write. She needs to write novels, or she needs to write children's books. She's got a lot of energy there to do that. And she's also a channel. Right. She's an amazing channel for spirit.
Which she's got the moon there would let you really bring out the emotions in your writing.
Very much so.
And then it's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is about freedom. You can really find your freedom by losing yourself in the book.
Very much so. Right. The 4th house is empty, so she's learned all that she needs to learn about home and family. The 5th house is empty. She's learned all she needs to know about creativity and about children. And the 6th house is empty, and she's learned everything she needs to know about health and healing, work and service. But the 7th house is where I'm just looking and going, oh my God, because marriage, relationships, and partnerships are where she has a really hard job.
And she's got Chiron there, which is your deepest wounds.
And it's to do with being controlled by men.
Right.
Right. In past lifetimes, she's been controlled by men. And she's been controlled by men to such a degree that she's hardly spoken, she's not spoken her truth quietly and clearly. So in that 7th house, she has Mercury there, which is forcing her to speak her truth quietly and clearly.
Right. So she's got Mercury in Pisces and Chiron in Pisces. And then she's got the Saturn, big teacher Saturn
in Aries.
Aries, which is a very strong energy.
Yeah. The Chiron is where her deepest wounds lie, and they're connected to that past lifetime. And the Saturn is saying, you will face these issues. You will speak your mind.
You will stand up for yourself.
Yes, you will.
You've brought it back in the sign of Aries, which is a very, very strong sign. So it's all there for you to be very strong and working through.
And then, of course, the 8th house, which is metaphysics, death, D-E-A-T-H, the death of the old, the birth of the new, is about other people's money, inheritances.
Legal matters.
Legal matters.
You have your sun there in the sign of Aries, and you got your part of fortune there in Taurus.
Yeah. So she can actually make money from other people's money. She can make money from, it's the kind of, that is the kind of thing that you get gifts from, and you get other people's money to be able to use it.
The easy thing for you to think about there is you can make your sun shine by utilizing other people's resources or taking the gifts other people give you.
Yeah. And then we have the 9th house, which is North Node and Venus.
Yep.
The North Node is all about where she's going, which is spirituality. Venus is all about connecting with the love part of her to God and the divine source, and it's also about travel and higher learning. So she's got that there. In the 10th house, she has nothing.
Right.
She's learned the lessons she needs to learn about being in the public arena. In the 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, she has her Jupiter, and she's very capable of manifesting anything she wants. She's very capable, but will she do it? That's the question. And then the 12th house, which is the deep, deep subconscious, is all about transformation.
The Trans-Pluto there.
Yeah. And she has to transform herself in the 11th and in the 12th and the 1st house. I mean, she's here to change herself from that. It's interesting because her midheaven is Gemini. Right. Gemini is all about communications. Her ego-centeredness, her ego part of her is in that, and the fear that she has is in that Gemini midheaven. And of course, it's all connected to the 7th house of partnerships, relationships, which is all about communicating and speaking her truth quietly and clearly, rather than being a yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir person. So there we are.
So hopefully that helps you. And those that don't understand the astrology, we do one chart each week. If you want your chart done, you need to send your information to...
We need your time of birth, date of birth, and place of birth.
And that's info@margaretmcroy.com. We're about 2 months backed up, but if you have patience, we will get to your chart.
Yes, we will.
So thank you very much on that.